have a culture where the difference is guns can be used for hunting or for sport shooting in Canada, and there are lots of gun owners, and they're mostly law-respecting and law-abiding. But you can't use a gun for self-protection in Canada. That's not a right that you have in the Constitution or anywhere else. If you try and buy a gun and say it's for self-protection, no, you don't get that. You get it for hunting, you can get it for sport shooting, you can take it to the range, no problem, as long as you go through our rigorous background checks. But there's a difference around the culture. And one of the things that we're seeing with the debate in the States is you get more and more of the American style, right to carry, self-defense arguments filtering up through the usual more right-wing communications channels.
Yeah.
Our government banned 1,500 models of assault-style weapons, including the Ruger Mini 14 used at Polytechnique. But other than using firearms for sport shooting and hunting, there is no reason anyone in Canada should need guns in their everyday lives. And this is about freedom. People should be free to go to the supermarket, their school, or their place of worship without fear. These people should be free to go to the park or to a birthday party without worrying about what might happen from a stray bullet. Gun violence is a complex problem, but at the end of the day, the math is really quite simple.
A few moments later.
Massive manhunt that is underway after a stabbing spree left at least 10 people dead and another 15 wounded. Police are searching right now for these two suspects who share a last name. This happened yesterday in a rural area in the province of Saskatchewan. Matt Piper is following the latest developments.
It is horrific what has occurred in our province today.
Royal Canadian Mounted Police say Damian Sanderson and Miles Sanderson are on the run after a series of stabbings across at least 13 different crime scenes.
The priority right now is to locate them and make sure that we have them in custody so that we can ensure the public of their safety.
The relationship between the suspects is unclear. Authorities say they received a call about a stabbing on the James Smith Cree Nation at 5:40 a.m. Within minutes, officials received more calls about multiple stabbings across the region. Officers were dispatched to the community immediately as the first dangerous persons alert was sent out for the area at 7:12 a.m. Several additional alerts were sent before the suspect's car was spotted about 200 miles away in Saskatchewan's capital, Regina, around noon. Police so far do not have a motive.
It appears that some of the victims may have been targeted and some may be random.
While mass killings are rare in Canada, this is among the country's deadliest in recent years. In 2020, 22 were killed after a man shot people in their homes and set fires in Nova Scotia, while in 2018, 10 were killed in Toronto when a man drove into pedestrians. For CBS Mornings.
Don't think so much about how things you do are perceived or what people think about you. None of that stuff really matters at the end of the day. In fact, nothing much at all matters at the end of the day. Happy attitude, I want to see smiles. I want to see nothing but smiles in the room. If you're feeling sad, I want you to take that sadness and put it down into your butt.
All right, you bunch of pussies, I'm back and I'm kicking ass.
Okay. Yeah.
May I have the password, please?
Fidelio.
All right, so today we're going to be taking a look at the devastating effect of some of these radical left-wing policies when it comes to criminals and prison sentences. The report is a mass stabbing suspect who killed 11 people, had 59 previous convictions, but was released this year by parole board that saw him as a victim of systemic racism. He was a victim. He was in prison because he was a victim, not because he created victims. No, he was the victim. They say after the mass stabbing in Canada, so this is in Canada, mind you, so it's not in the United States, but these policies are creeping into the U.S. thanks to all these George Soros-backed DAs. But they say after the mass stabbing in Canada on Monday that left 11 dead and at least 15 wounded. Shit, man. See, this is what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if you got a knife or a gun. Like, you're not going to stop a crazy person from going on a rampage and killing innocent people. This is why good guys need guns to fucking end people like this, to make them one with the fucking universe and end the threat. And the article only goes on to further make my point, saying there have been many on the right talking about the obvious fact that banning guns won't stop these lunatics from murdering people. Then you got commentator Matt Walsh, who said what's painfully obvious, but clearly needed to be said, saying, he tweeted out, Damien and Miles Sanderson went on a stabbing spree in Canada this weekend, killing 11 people. Miles had 59 previous convictions and yet was still free. Let me repeat that, man. 59 previous convictions. Now, I don't know how serious or severe some of these charges or convictions were, but the dude has been not just, charged, he's been convicted 59 times. All right? And this motherfucker's walking free. They set him free. And it turns out that the only sure way to protect the public from the violent crooks is to put them in prison. Banning guns won't do this, says Matt Walsh. He goes on to say the parole board in February lamented that Miles had suffered systemic racism due to his indigenous background. They blamed his violence on loss of culture and spirituality. Loss of culture and spirituality. What the fuck, man? Just because you have a dark pigment of skin doesn't mean you can go around crying victimhood. We've created a whole generation of people crying victim. This victimhood mentality is poison. It's cancerous. Yes, I understand that there is racism. I understand there are some systemic policies that are racist. And I understand these things exist, but to just be like, oh, I'm a victim because I'm black, or because I'm indigenous, or because I'm fucking gay or non-binary, whatever, doesn't mean you're a victim. Far from it. You're one of the only countries in the world that just not only lets this shit go on, but like encourages. Like America has the biggest platform for woke people in the world. So I don't know what you're fucking complaining about. These people are the same people who are crying about racism and fucking, how their ancestors were slaves and shit, while at the same time they're fucking, tweeting on a phone that was quite literally made by slaves. Oh my God. These people are insufferable. He attached an image to his tweet, Matt Walsh did, saying, more so explaining the reason why Miles was released from prison. The board said that Sanderson and his siblings grew up in an environment where physical abuse and domestic violence were commonplace. He began using drugs and alcohol as a boy. Yeah, so did I. They say, quote, you said that your regular use of cocaine, marijuana, and hard alcohol would make you lose your mind and that you can be easily angered when drunk. But they're a different person when sober, the board wrote. Yo, that's everybody. That's literally fucking everybody. Everybody's a different person when they're sober. What the fuck is this? This doesn't make... Oh my... Sorry, guys. This is how Darth gets triggered. Yeah, so triggered. No, but come on, man. What the fuck? That means everybody who's committed a crime while intoxicated should be set free. Because they were fucked up. They didn't know any better. They were drunk. I didn't mean to kill that person. I was just drunk driving. It's no big deal. I was drunk driving because I'm fucking oppressed, okay? I had to drink and drive because that's the only way I can deal with my oppression. I have to be drunk all the time, or on crack, or, marijuana's gotta be high all the time. Give me them oxys. Look, this is stupid. This is fucking stupid. Anyway, let's read this. They say it noted his indigenous background and listed several factors that might have contributed to his involvement in the criminal justice system. They say, quote, including intergenerational impacts of residential schools, neglect, exposure to familial and community substance abuse. your own substance abuse issues, exposure to experienced domestic violence during your childhood, family fragmentation, lack of education, and loss of culture, spirituality. This seems like everything the left is trying to destroy, so I don't understand. The left is trying to dissolve the nuclear family. They want to get rid of God. They want to get rid of sex and gender. They want to erase all of the lines. They want to get rid of the meaning of all words. Words don't have any meaning anymore. Numbers have no meaning. Words have no meaning, which is fucking dangerous. These people think that all of the ideas that came before them, the hundreds of thousands of years of human evolution and ingenuity that brought us to where we are today in the modern world, they think all those people's ideas don't matter, and they're non-issues. They're not things to be thinking about because they're boomers, or their ideologies are old school. Those classic ideologies, where people believe in science and faith and common sense and truth, those don't matter, because this is the time of our truth. We're Gen Z. We're the new generation. Well, if you can just uproot an entire fucking world history of fact and throw it out the window, then who's to say that the next generation won't uproot your ideologies and throw it away? This is stupid. We have to have a universal understanding of right and wrong, truth from fiction. We just got to. Otherwise, we're going to fall apart as a society. I don't understand how they're saying these factors are what have contributed to his involvement in the criminal justice system. Yes, you are a product of your environment. I understand that. And not everybody is given the best environment to grow up in. And I understand people can't just up and leave that environment. I get it. Not everybody has the money to do so. But that doesn't mean you can use your quote-unquote oppression as a reason to go out on a murder spree, or a reason to commit 50, 59, 60 crimes. It doesn't give you a right to do that just because you're oppressed, just because you were drunk. It doesn't excuse anything. So this is just like, I don't know. It's sad, man. It's sad. But that's all I got to say for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. I do. I understand that there's just endless amounts of content. I mean, there's just so many fucking channels on YouTube, so many options to pick from on streaming, and you're here with me. That just, fuck, I love you guys. Love you. It means everything to me. I wouldn't be here without you, so you're everything. But yeah, thanks for listening to me rant. Just want to talk about this, expose some of these ridiculous policies that have been becoming commonplace. Letting criminals go. They released, I think, like 1,400 felons from the California prison systems during COVID. Guess what? Crime went up, like a lot. So, you can't. What's the fucking thing? How's it go? Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. That's one of the most true statements I've ever heard. If you're not willing to do the time, don't fucking commit the crime. Like, I had to go rob that liquor store because I'm oppressed. I needed those Gucci slippers and that Rolex because fucking reparations. Because you owe me. White people owe me. No, I'm not playing with this shit. Anyway, so thank you so much for tuning on. This has been a whole lot of fun. As always, I'm demonetized, so if you want to help the channel out, God bless you. Please go to my Patreon, CashApp, or my merch store. Feel free to buy some merch. Yeah. So until, we meet again, don't forget to pull out. That's POO fucking L. And let me know those thoughts in the comments below. I want to get inside that dirty little mind. Fucking naughty mind. That naughty mind. Seriously. Stay Darth.
What do you think the issue is with men nowadays?
Men are shitheads.
The one thing I have is every man I've ever been with has cheated on me.
Yeah, they're cheaters.
Every man has been a selfish piece of shit. And
they think
Yeah.
I have an issue with men when they breathe, talk, blink, eat, and that's everything.
Yeah.
Listen, before you get started with your day, I got to tell you something really important, okay?